Hi, welcome to Archangel Revelations. My name is Biani, and I'm going to be doing a vlog today about COVID-19. I was just tested positive for COVID-19, and I felt compelled to make this video because of my situation. I wanted to share my experience with those out there who are afraid of what COVID-19 is and what it entails and what it's about, and if it even exists or if it's a myth, or, well, I'm here to clarify some of your questions. So, basically, yes, COVID-19 is a real thing, and we're in some pretty strange times. And I didn't know at first if I had it. I was frightened that I might have it because I am very susceptible because I have hypothyroidism, which is your thyroid that's located in your neck right here that controls your whole immune system and nervous system and all your systems in your body. It's like the control command center to communicate with the rest of your body. And because my body doesn't work efficiently, I am very susceptible because I have an autoimmune deficiency. And now I have COVID-19. So basically, my symptoms started about 30 days ago. Really, 30 days ago. Right before Christmas, I had gotten a job at a hotel. And I'm disabled, so I don't normally work. But, because of the Christmas season coming and I wanted to get some things, extra things for my kids, I decided to pick up a part-time job. Well, as soon as I started working at the hotel, I noticed I was getting symptoms, flu-like symptoms. And they started off with some sneezing, coughing, sniffling. And then I lost my job, because I couldn't handle the workload because I got really fatigued really quickly. I was exhausted. I felt like I got hit by a truck. I was like, there's no way I can do this work thing because I'm barely able to, keep up with the workload. So I was really challenged. So they let me go. They're like, well, we don't think that this job is right for you. And then as soon as I got home, I started coming up with all these symptoms. I was hacking, coughing repeatedly, couldn't stop coughing because it was like a dryness in my throat, and it was hard to not breathe necessarily, because I know they said that's one of the symptoms, but that breathing didn't seem to present a problem for me in my experience. But it was mostly just like that feeling like you want to constantly clear your throat, and then you have a tickle back there and you want to hack up whatever is tickling your throat, which I still kind of feel that feeling slightly, but not bad like it was before when I first started getting symptoms. That was what it was like. And I'd be coughing and my son's like, Mom, are you okay? Are you dying? And I'm like, I don't know, because I can't stop coughing. And so that's when I knew, I was like, okay, well, maybe I have the flu. Maybe, let's see if I can get rid of this. And sure enough, I started taking vitamin C tablets and drinking tea heavily and put honey and doing the NutriBullet. A lot of vitamins are naturally found in fruits and vegetables. So I would just put tons of fruits and vegetables in my NutriBullet, blend them up, drink that every day, sometimes 3 times a day. And that seemed to be helping me. and I started feeling better. The coughing subsided, and I was able to function normally. But then I noticed another symptom where I was getting indigestion problems. I was having trouble eating. Like I said, the only things I could eat were those NutriBullets, and I had like no appetite whatsoever. So, and there was like, I could feel like the cold going down from my head area, congestion in my nasal passages, and I even took like some antihistamines to help me with the coughing and the breathing, and some suppositories, like cough medicine for my throat, whatnot, for the coughing. But then I felt like it moved down, maybe like into my indigestion, like into my stomach. So then I started feeling kind of nauseous. The nausea lasted for about 2 weeks, and I wasn't eating, and I'd lost like 15 pounds in the matter of 3 weeks. So that was kind of a weird symptom too, because I never had that happen. And as you hear me, I'm constantly clearing my throat. That was the first symptom. The clearing the throat thing never went away. It's always there. It's like constantly in my throat area. Probably my thyroid area, probably. That's where it's attacking me because that's my weakness, right? See, I have a feeling COVID attacks anybody's weakness. Whatever your Achilles heel is, if it's asthma, if it's, strep throat, this is one of those things that you get at the drop of a hat, that's where it's going to target. So take your vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin E, and eat lots of fruits and vegetables, and drink lots and lots and lots of water. And not just any kind of water, because, I felt like, okay, well, maybe it's my water. So I stopped drinking anything from the filter or from the sink. And then I started drinking only bottled water. And I noticed that did change my my health a little bit, because for a while, like, we had a pipe burst and they had like boiling water notice. So I was thinking, oh, well, that's why I'm getting sick, because I drank water from the filter, which is from the sink. So, I mean, I'm trying to like cut things out of my life, that could be making me sick. I wasn't taking any pills. I was just doing everything from the book naturally. So then I felt better for like maybe a week or so. I think I was like, oh, it was just the flu. I'm good. I kicked it. But then that, like I said, that stomach thing where I couldn't eat anything, and I was having a hard time. Like, I was having diarrhea and having like a fever. And I was like, okay, whoa, there's a fever. I'm getting hot spells, hot sweats. I'm like, maybe I should go to the hospital. Maybe it's COVID. But the thing is, I had like no energy. I was completely depleted. So I decided to just stay home and hack it out. I don't know. It's a very frightening time when you get sick. It could be any little thing, and you're thinking it's COVID. And then that fear base comes in, and you're like, oh my God, I could be dying. But a lot of people who have COVID have survived. So don't be afraid that you're dying. Okay? Look at me. It's 30 days later, and I'm still here. I'm actually getting better. It's just a way of life. It's just a way to change your life around to make you realize that life is precious. So it's not really a curse. It's more like a wake-up call. So that's one thing I realized about it. Because you just never know who has it. or who doesn't have it, or who's really sick and who's showing symptoms, because some people are not symptomatic. Unfortunately for me, I am really highly symptomatic. Another symptom that came on, and this was the very last straw for me, was when my throat started to hurt really bad. Because that's my Achilles heel. It's my thyroid. I get strep throat like the drop of a hat. And once that happens, it can turn into walking pneumonia. So I was like, okay, I'm going to the hospital. And so I went to the hospital and they did the COVID test. I asked them to. They weren't going to, which was weird. Even though they were treating me like I was already had it. As soon as I got into the emergency room, they put me in a separate quarter, in a separate seating area, because I gave them the signs. I had all the signs of COVID. I told them I was having bloody sputum, which I was. When I coughed up, there was like redness tinge in my sputum. One night I actually coughed up a hole. It looked like a COVID. I swear to God, it looked like a COVID. It felt like it was disgusting. It was, anyways. Yeah, look at what you're spinning up, because it's heinous. Um, Another thing was the fatigue, temperature. They took my temperature and it was like 93 because it's cold outside. But at the time when I got there, I know I was having a fever because I was sweating. But yet my temperature was low. So that didn't make no sense. Then I stepped on the scale and they told me I weighed 15 pounds less than what I weighed myself previously. And I was like, whoa, that was a big shocker to me. So I lost a lot of weight really fast. Another symptom, like symptom you really have to worry about is you know, drainage fluids from your mouth, because what happens is you feel like a fire breathing dragon, like everything's burning inside your throat, inside your mouth, inside everything's like purging and trying to get out. Like you could be vomiting, you could be, sneezing, you could be coughing, like everything's just trying to purge. That's why we need to wear masks, because it's gonna try to find its way out, because your body's resisting it. But it will attack every single aspect in your body. Like some people, like when I first got it, I was thinking, oh, this is nothing, this is just like everyday flu. That's why I didn't think I had COVID, because I really wasn't sick for that long. The first time I got sick, it was only for a few days. But then when I got better and I thought I was getting better, then it came back harder with a new symptom. And then I would get better again, thinking it was just flu. And then it came back again. It's like it's relentless. This COVID is relentless. Say hi to Smokey. Smokey wants to say hi. Hi, Smokey. Okay, yeah. So I was just like blown away when they did the test. They put this like little thing up your nose, and a lot of people say it's very uncomfortable and it hurts. To me, it tickled. And it actually cleared my nasal passages. I didn't mind it one bit. And they put one up each nostril. Now, when they tested my son, they only did one nostril. So I guess everybody does it different. But I found that odd. So there's differences. Everybody's different. But in my experience, what I found out that I found odd is that they didn't give me the results right away. I had to wait a couple days. So here I am, sick, and they gave me antibiotics for strep throat, even though when they swabbed the back of my throat, see, and I'm clean. I don't have nothing bad going on in my mouth right now. But when they swabbed back there, they said they didn't test positive for strep. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, but it feels like I have strep. So how can, and why are you giving me antibiotics for strep when I don't have strep? So that was another odd thing. So here I am at home waiting for the results of this COVID. And they said to me, we'll call you in a couple, like 48 hours. And you can always go on the website where you were admitted and you'll get the results faster that way, which I just waited for the call. And if you're like me and you're sick as a dog, waiting to hear if you have COVID, thinking you're dying, that's kind of scary. Because now, not only am I thinking, well, okay, who have I been in contact with the past 30 days? Who could I have given this to? My kids, my friends, my family. So that is kind of nerve-wracking too. Thinking, well, maybe they should get tested too. And that's what I did. I took my kid to get tested. You know, I called the father of my other child to have my other kid get tested. And I just, did what I had to do. Now, I went about my business. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little better today. The antibiotics seem to be working for me. Like my throat doesn't hurt anymore. I'm going to go get my car looked at. So I'm sitting at Tire Kingdom getting my car looked at. And then I get the call. And sure enough, I'm positive for COVID-19. I have a mask on and everything, and I thought about where I was sitting, what I'd touched since I've been in there, and my phone started to die. And the gentleman at the counter came over and he asked me, he's like, what kind of phone charger do you have? Which was very kind, I would appreciate it. Told him what he had, and he grabbed my phone, and I said to him, first thing, because I have a big heart and I'm very caring and thoughtful, and I just found out I had COVID-19. I said, you may want to wash your hands. I just found out I'm COVID-19 positive. And he looks at me and he's like, oh, okay. And then sure enough, like 20 minutes later, the manager is coming to me and telling me that they can't service me and pointing me to the door because I said corona. Now, I understand people got protocol and measures to take, with this COVID-19. But it makes you wonder how many people out there have tested positive for COVID-19, going about their daily life and business, and haven't told anybody that they're susceptible or not quarantining themselves. You know what I mean? It makes you wonder, really. And that's another thing. Now what do I do now that I found out that I have COVID-19? She's like, well, you need to quarantine for 10 days from the day that you became symptomatic. I'm thinking to myself, well, I became symptomatic 30 days ago. And all this time I've been spreading it. So it's been over 10 days. I've already quarantined. So now what do I do? So this is what I'm thinking. Hopefully, I don't get any more symptoms. And once that happens, then it will be past the mark of quarantine once the symptoms stop. Now, another symptom I've been having are these fever blisters that are growing from my lip all over my chin and my mouth. See? They're disgusting. I had one up here. It finally healed. It took forever to heal. And that happened the second time I got a fever. This last time, this third fever, it was bad because it was like I was... it's almost like I was like foaming at the mouth. like with phlegm. Ugh, it was disgusting. So I think once that happened, it got all over my lips, all over here, and it just broke out like crazy. I think once these heal up, I think I'll be good. I'm really hoping I'll be good. I just pray that I'll be good. Um, Keep doing the NutriBullet. One of the things I haven't been able to do because I'm so fatigued is exercising. So I'm going to start throwing exercise back into the mix on a daily basis regularly. You just have to be consistent and persistent and clean. Constantly cleaning things, constantly like washing your hands all the time after going to the bathroom, before, preparing a meal, clean your hands constantly. And I would even suggest cleaning your hands with hydrogen peroxide, soaking them in that, because that actually helps your skin, and it kills any bacteria that you have under your nails. I even started cutting my nails short because long nails are bad for harboring germs and bacteria. So cutting your nails, clipping your nails constantly, keeping your nails, your fingers clean. Try not to pick. That's my bad habit. I'm a picker. Whenever like these things, it's hard for me not to pick. So try not to pick at things that like sores or things like of that nature. Another thing I noticed, I'm bruising easily. I'm getting bruises easily on my hands, on my legs, and I'm not healing as fast. Now, I know all of these things probably have a lot to do with my thyroid problem, but also this corona, it's relentless. It's a beast, and it's not going, just when you think you're getting better, it's going to kick you down again. So be prepared for that. Not everyone has this mentality because they haven't experienced it yet. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Just be prepared. And go out in nature. It's one of the things that also that I found out since I've been tested positive for COVID-19 is your life may never be the same. I was very lonely before all this started to happen, but now it's like people will avoid you like a plague. It's a very lonely lifestyle, so you need to love yourself. Self-care is the number one priority once you find out that you have COVID-19, because there's no one gonna come to your aid. You are alone on this, and it's up to you to love yourself enough to get better. Doesn't mean that life is over. It just means that it's time for you to make your life better, to establish better routines, to establish better self-care, to establish love for yourself in a way that you've never done before, probably. It's time to ground yourself, to center yourself, to not live in a fear-based mentality, to love yourself enough to persevere and rise above in life in general. Go outside in nature, sit on the earth, meditate, pray, count your blessings, be grateful, and try your very best to make yourself happy. If that entails singing or being creative or finding a hobby that makes you feel proud of yourself, or having an animal friend that keeps you company, whatever it is that makes you happy, that makes your heart sing, that brings you joy in life, do it. Don't let this time stop you from maintaining your balance in your soul spirit. Do whatever it is that makes you thrive, because this is a time for you now to balance everything that maybe you haven't been balancing before, to break any toxic behaviors that have been holding you back, to indulge in experiences that you've been wanting to embrace in your life but never found the time. Take advantage of this moment, because it is actually a blessing in disguise. So my heart goes out to all of you who are facing this challenge, and I bless you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope you are well and safe and in good spirits. Don't get discouraged. This is just a blip, and we're all going to get through this. You are going to get through this. I am going to get through this. We are not done yet. Thanks be to God in the name of Jesus. I love you. Mwah.